You know what? I know I want the bullshit discussion to be. Let me ask you a question. So you know how you threw college back? I mean, how you threw parties in college back in the day, right?
Yeah.
So I know we briefly talked about it before, but I feel like I never like fully sat down and asked you compared to the songs, right, that were just dropping when you were in college. So what was that like around like 2010, 2011?
I was in college.
Yeah,
02, 03.
02, 03.
Was like my freshman year. Yeah.
So like you had songs like Hot in Here by Nelly, right?
Hot in here. Yeah.
What else did you have?
So my era is the crunk era. So like we didn't.
Okay, Lil Jon.
We mainly listened to Little John. We mainly listened to Pastor Troy. We were
Okay.
mainly listening to Young Bloods. Shit, who else we played a lot of? A lot of like Magic from like No Limit. Yeah, that was mainly like who we banged out a lot.
Would you say that music now compared to back then, can you see like a drastic change in like the energy shift?
Yeah. So like one, well, it just depends. Like, well, one, when I was throwing parties and going to parties, a lot of the clubs had dance floors. So like you didn't go to no club that didn't have like a massive dance floor, as opposed to now you don't have many dance floors, you just have a bunch of sections. Or at least in Atlanta, you know what I'm saying? I know different clubs have different vibes, but in the hip hop scene, you know, like the clubs always had a huge dance floor. So like people danced, like girls dance, guys got on the floor and dance. It was VIP sections, but the VIP section surrounded the dance floor. You know what I mean? And then there's a lot of like, you know, kind of, but so similar to now, I see a lot of young people still will get like rowdy and get together and start jumping around. And that's how the crunk era was. So like when Lil Jon would come on, and certain songs, like people would still get in the crowd and start jumping around, throwing up their signs, their sets, where they're from, type shit.
Yeah.
Pushing each other, shaking their dreads. So like, you know, it's not the music now to me is not too much different. You know what I'm saying? Like you still got twerk music, you still got gangster music, you know what I'm saying? Not so much crunk music, but it has the same kind of flavor where people can still like have a good time in the club. You know what I'm saying? It's just the structure of clubs and parties just seem a little different.
I don't know. I try not to live in like the past. I mean, granted, while all that was going on, I was like 5 years old. But
He was 5 years old
yeah.
in 02?
Okay, I was like 3.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. But like I've been
That's crazy.
I've been thinking like, damn, like I still won't get to experience that. Me personally, from videos that I see online, I feel like there's like a drastic change. Cause that like imagine right, you on the mic, all right, next song is coming up, Nuck If You Buck. Like remember how that crowd was.
But they still play that in clubs now.
Yeah, but like it ain't the same though.
Yeah.
Like people get hyped, but it's not like not like that.
Nah, that's because y'all don't. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. And that's kind of like messed up. Like I'm not gonna ever experience that. Anyway, what's up, y'all? So you know you can hear the voices pretty clear today, huh? We got the mics out. So keep on hitting me up. Keep on DMing me about the 2 voices that you hear in the back, so we can finally get them on camera. You know, one day. Just keep it up. I'll screenshot it and share it with them, so we can get their faces on camera. But what's up, y'all? So we have 2 very special guests that sadly you can't see. But give it up for Jay and Trey, right in the back. I mean, they've talked before, but I feel like you can hear it clearly now because we got mics. So, as always, it's someone like AKA Hip Hop Scholar. Yeah. So, I'm introducing this topic. Think of today's episode like a preview episode, or maybe not even like a preview, probably like a part 1, because we're gonna tease this topic out a little bit more next month. So starting off right with the first topic discussion point. So what beliefs did you have about yourself based on the music that you listen to. So it's no surprise, right? I mean, women do their thing in hip hop for sure, but hip hop is very male dominated. I've always been a fan of hip hop ever since I was like in elementary school, and by watching 106 in Park, TRL, all of that, listening to the radio, I would constantly hear men. So I'm hearing men's opinions. I'm hearing, you know, their thoughts on how a woman should be, what they should do, what they shouldn't do. So let me put it into context. So you're from St. Louis.
Mm-hmm.
You're watching the Tip Drill music video. You're hearing the lyrics. It must be it must be yo ass because it ain't your face. You're seeing Nelly swipe a credit card between a stripper's ass. How did you view women?
I mean, I was still young when the song came out, so
And that's like one video though.
Yeah.
But actually, fun fact, y'all, it was
the stripper's idea, not stripper. It was the woman's idea to do it.
Well, not that. But the Tip Drill music video, with the culmination of other things, that's one of the reasons why BT Uncut, like they took it off air. So the former CEO Deborah Lee, she was like, "This is really just objectifying women. I don't see anything positive about this," and that's why it went off air.
Interesting.
Fun facts.
Wait, did you hear my fun fact too? It was the woman's idea to do it, which is that was like they were throwing money at first, and then they ran out of money, and she said, "Just take the card and like just swipe it."
Oh, that is
So
a
they
fun
did
fact.
it.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know.
Yeah, it was on her, and they got all this.
I do
yeah.
remember when they canceled all of their appearances at like Spelman and like.
Do you remember the
Yeah.
interview Nelly did talking about it? He was like, "Bro, it was the girl's idea."
No, I don't remember that.
Yeah, I don't remember that, but I do remember that they canceled him for like a good minute.
A lot of colleges did
Mm-hmm.
for him to come. He was supposed to speak and stuff.
But yeah, I'm saying like, okay, so seeing that, or I don't know, yeah, just like growing up.
I would say growing up, for me, my mother's a single mother, so like growing up, I always seen the strengths of women and just them being, providers and the nurturers. It wasn't really until I got to high school to where like I seen them in a different light, and high school going forward, it was really all about just. It was really all about like just how many women I could get really, like for a high school boy. It's just how many girls can you get with?
But like, do you think the music influenced that, or do you think that's just like a natural thing for men to?
I think it's a natural thing.
I would say natural.
It's natural.
Okay.
Naturally, for sure. I mean, I don't know any age where you didn't get,
Or any time period.
yeah, where you get like butterflies or a funny feeling when you see a girl that you're attracted to. Like it happens when you're, what I'm saying, when you're, when you're born, or when you're like a kid, like.
It's funny that you brought up like your mom being a single mom, because I think this is a really dope segue for my next question. So baby mama culture. So growing up, right, listening to certain tracks, and I mean, hell, even now as an adult, it's like this thing I feel like a lot of rappers have against like baby mama culture, and how they condemn it as being like this, bottom of the barrel thing. When of course we know in order to get pregnant, what needs to happen? A man and a woman get together, and things happen. So, like I feel like they never call out the dad that leave the woman stranded, but they're really quick to call out a single mom, with kids. So like a couple years ago, right? What was the biggest song that like just swept through the streets of Atlanta? That Fujiana song, that baby mama ain't shit. What? She won't let me see my son. Yeah. But like, look at you bobbing your head. No, stop.
It's a good song. I mean.
Yeah, it is a good song. But yeah, like I hear things like that, or I hear like I don't know, like just different tracks, right? Where they just like kind of condemn like women for, either having a lot of kids, or like, I don't know, single moms, all that shit. Now, me personally, I feel like being a single mom is like one of the like greatest attributes, greatest strengths that a woman could have, because that, I'm not a mother, but I can only imagine, right? It's difficult. And then on top of that, you single, you have no support, and you holding it down, taking care of, your house, your kids, all of that. Like hell yeah. Why do you like? So why do y'all think guys never really comment on their homeboys having hella kids, but they're so quick to dog out a woman with a lot of kids?
None of my homeboys have kids. Trey, it's on you.
But you've heard it before though, let's say like if your homeboy likes somebody, right? But she got like 2 kids.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe she has 2 different fathers.
Mm-hmm.
What's the natural reaction that most people say?
That's
I don't
only
know about that one.
That's only because certain men just want to create their own family. So a lot of times a lot of men don't want to have the responsibility of raising another man's kids with the dynamic of, yeah, like I love you and I love your kids and I want them to be great in life, but I can only instill so much of my beliefs on them because they also have another father figure in their life that also wants to instill his beliefs on them. And so a lot of times certain men want to create a family, create their kids that are going to, appreciate and grow from the lessons that father is teaching them, whether it's religion, whether it's education beliefs. This example, I could be a guy that believes very strongly in going to college and graduate from college. I may believe very strongly in being a Christian. I may believe very strongly in like, I don't want you to have dreads or anything like that. I'm just giving examples, right? And then the father could be the kid's real father could be the exact opposite. And so certain men don't like to get into situations where these children are in the same house I'm in and I see them every day, but maybe 2 months out of the year they have to go spend time with their real father, and the things that they learn from their real father or get from their real father don't pertain to the things I'm trying to teach them. And so a lot of men or certain men don't want to go through that not tussle, but they just don't want to go through that because they may make things a little difficult. You know what I'm saying? So certain men don't want to take on a woman that has other kids just because of that kind of idea. Like, I can't make, these are not really mine. You know what I'm saying? And I can only do so much. I've heard certain guys say that about women that they date that have kids. Like, they're not my kids, so I can only do so much. Or they feel limited of what they can do in their own house with having brought on this other woman's children. You know what I mean? I have a few homeboys that have married or are in relationships with a woman, and she came with either a child or 2 in the relationship, and I hear from their end like this is struggles and things they go through, and if they had to do it again, majority of them say they wouldn't. So I think a lot of times when men have that conversation with each other, they hear that and like, man, like my homeboy is not really, he's dealing with it, but if he had to do it again, he said he wouldn't marry a woman that that came with kids. It's because of the struggles and the stress that brought on to his situation. That's not everybody's situation. There's certain people that have amazing relationships and amazing marriages, amazing stepdad situations. So I think it just depends on the man and his dynamic, and also the kids and their dynamic with their father, if that father's in their life or not.
Okay, that's really interesting. I never heard that really before. But okay, so then if that's the case, then like in my personal opinion, I feel like why are you guys so quick to call out women who don't fit like the standard of like what it means to be a woman? So for me growing up, right, based on like the tracks that I've heard, I would be deemed as like undesirable if I had like a lot of kids, versus the man who has a lot of kids, right? But it doesn't really matter because he can, it's easier for him to like gain a woman, right? But in the event that he has a lot of kids and she has a lot of kids, then it's like a big no-no. Like you get what I'm saying?
Somewhat. Somewhat. Could you say it differently? Say it again.
Why are men so quick to call out women who don't fit the standard when basically they themselves don't fit the standard of what it means to, be a man?
I feel like that goes both ways. I
Not
feel like
really,
both
honestly.
sides call each other out
I was
on the
about-
exact
I was about
same
to say the
things.
same thing.
I don't think so, honestly. But I still feel like, though, in terms of when we think of like dominant culture and subculture. So
You have to explain that. I don't know what neither one of those mean.
okay, so like culture, right? Culture, we're looking at it from a hip hop lens. So what's dominant in hip hop culture? If we're just being honest, it's men and their opinions. So we have songs like "No Scrubs" by TLC. We have, which we're gonna like transition to that in a second, but that would be considered more like the subculture. So sort of like the break off of culture, if that makes sense. Like it's smaller, still important, but it's more smaller, and but majority of people still gravitate to like dominant culture, which is what we're looking through in like a hip hop lens. So although we have songs like "No Scrubs" by TLC, we have Trina's catalog, Megan, all of that. I still feel like it's not looked upon at the same value as dominant culture, aka hip hop culture, which is male dominated. My personal opinion.
What do you feel like the culture is right now?
Right now, I feel like we're hearing more, a lot more women, voices, and I feel like the subculture is slowly growing. But overall, I still feel like that dominant culture is still like the leading force, and that men still have like a lot of say so. But we've seen like a substantial amount of growth within the subculture. I will say that for sure. So like when I hear songs, right, like "Freak No More" by the Migos, like "These Bitches Ain't Shit," I forgot to mention, or like "Thirsty" by Gucci Mane, "Hood Bitch Think That She the Shit," or "Wouldn't Go Far," that Game song. Or like what else? It's a lot. Shawty's a window shopper. She mad at me. I think I know why. When we hear, yeah, it's a lot, y'all. Like I don't know. I think of the pressure that, especially if you're young and impressionable as a woman and you're hearing these tracks, that you want to be a certain way to like appease men in a way, because it's like if I'm the opposite, they're gonna like basically dog me out. Like you get what I'm saying? So like why is it so common in like the dominant culture to like say these things or to like look down on women who don't fit the standard? And then on top of that, let's take it a step further. What is the standard anyway to be like a woman?
I would say that a lot of the songs and the things you reference come from insecure men. So you have to think about, when you talk about the dominant culture and you talk about hip hop culture, how many rappers you know that have all these big songs are attractive to women?
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Think about the names you just named, of the songs you just named. These are not every woman's like poster board, like poster men. You know what I'm saying?
Not to a certain
They're not your
demographic.
Michael B. Jordans making these. They're not your Michael B. Jordans making these lyrics, right? So you got to think about a lot of these men that make these songs that degrade women, is to really make themselves seem bigger than what they really are. One, and then two, you got to think about when they were young in high school and no one knew who they were and they weren't famous. Think about the appeal they had to women. So they got dogged out a lot. They got laughed at a lot. They got picked at a lot. They didn't have women like banging down, beating down their door. So now that they have a platform to like say how they feel or like to make these songs, their first go-to is to degrade the women that probably degraded them. You know, hurt people. And I feel like in music and hip hop, a lot of the messages that are being brought out come from men that were hurt or had their heart broken, or the girl that they had a crush on in school didn't want to be with them. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of why they make certain songs like that. But also on the flip side, like JP said, like it's still, I feel like both genders are having the same conversation. So just like how a man can describe what his standard woman is, and kind of like what's going on in this culture now is that you have a lot of men that are upset because they don't fit the women's standards, and they feel like women have these standards that are just like not realistic. And so
Oh, but I have to counter that though.
certain men, right? certain men are now. So it's kind of like a battle. Like, you know, if we're talking about lyrics, right? You got to think about it. Like there's not a lot of not a lot of women artists, especially in the hip hop side, that will make music that has to do with anything supporting your average working 9-to-5 man that will do whatever he has to do to provide for his family, whether that's being a bus driver, whether that's being a construction worker, whether that's being a painter, whether that's working at Walmart, whether that's these are not the standard men that certain female rappers brag about or talk about, because they like to be on a jet, they like to be in a new Rolls Royce, they like to have their expensive bags, they like to have their diamonds, they like to be flown out over the country. So your average man can't compete or even fathom having that kind of access to be able to appease what certain female rappers have to say. And then vice versa, certain women feel like I have to go get a BBL, I have to go get my teeth straight, I have to, get my hair laid every day, I have to be in the gym every day in order to fit the standard to what certain men describe as desirable. So like JP said, I feel like both people are having the same conversation.
I feel like the standard today comes strictly from social media. I feel like too many people are looking at social media and seeing what's going on and seeing that as the standard for what to do in relationships, like how you were talking about women feeling like they need to have a BBL and this work done and that work done. It all comes from Twitter and Instagram. If you go outside, you're going to see regular people in regular relationships and just normal people doing everyday things. It's not like, super BBL culture and everybody got plastic surgery and this and that. Like, it's normal people. But a lot of people don't see that because they too stuck in their phones and too, caught up on what the next person doing and, their favorite celebrity influencer, so on and so forth.
Yeah, and it depends on your lifestyle. So like in Atlanta, where we live, depending on your day-to-day job, if you work in the clubs, if you work at bars, you do see a lot of women getting their work done. More than you do if you were just working at a school or if you're working in the government. You may not see a lot of women walking around like that, but if you are a bartender at some of these jobs, or you are a bottle service girl, we had a bottle service girl in one of our other shows, and she was literally describing the amount of money that changed in her lifestyle when she got her body done compared to when she was just a regular bottle service when she was a bottle service girl with her regular body when she was born with, compared to when she got work done. The difference of tips, the difference of the amount of money she brought home every night from just guys. She got to a point where she's charging men $200 just to get her number, and they were paying it easily just for that. Hey, I can't get your number, $100 just for them to get a trap phone number. You know what I'm saying? These are the type of things that weren't going on before she got her body done. Not saying that that's okay, but this was her rationale and reasoning of like justifying like, hey, like I went from making, maybe a couple $100 a night to making $1,000 a night sometimes, of just men that just wanted to holler at her based because of her body and the type of outfits they wear at this certain bar or lounge that she works at. So I think a lot of times it has to do with like your industry as well. Like, what do you see? You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like,
I feel like that's always been a thing, though. I do agree with that, but I don't think social media made it worse or better. I feel like that's always been a thing.
I feel like social media made it worse.
Social media made it worse.
Because I feel like kids now have access to things they didn't have access to. When you were young, you didn't compare how you looked to anybody else but the kids that were in your school. I didn't see the girl that lived in.
You didn't have access to that many people.
I didn't see the people. I didn't see the girls my age, 18 years old, 19 years old, with 100,000 followers based upon how her body looks. As opposed to I go to school with these girls or these guys, they look like this, they dress like this, they're the popular people in their little county or their little town, and it is what it is. Now I'm comparing myself to
these millions of people on Instagram.
Right.
Like, yeah, you don't
Like
have
people-
that before.
Exactly. Like we're looking at people that have access to certain resources, certain parents, certain things, and we're like, man, she's the same age as me, but she's living it up. She's doing, this, that, and the third. I should be doing that because I'm the same age.
Somebody's gonna hear what you just said about the woman that got her body done and got her money up. Somebody's gonna hear that and they want to get their body done just off that, not knowing that that may not be their reality once they get the work did.
Facts.
They're just going off of this one person's experience
100%.
who changed their life. You know, that may not happen to you. You don't know that. You got to be comfortable in your own skin instead of, trying to be like the next person.
I
It all
agree.
comes back to that.
I agree.
No, I agree with that, but I kind of agree on more of like a micro stance because me, right, when I heard tracks like 5 Star Chick, y'all remember that song, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or when I heard tracks like Baddest Bitch by Trina, like it made me want to be a certain way. Like I always told myself, mind you, I was young as hell when these tracks came out, but I told myself like when I become an adult and let's say I'm like broke or if I'm like a basic bitch, then I've pretty much have become a failure. So I think I still feel like music still plays a major part. Honestly, I would argue that probably music plays a bigger part than social media because I know we all use social media, like I know that, but I'm saying what has always been pushed in our faces, especially to like the youth, right? Is music videos. So when I look at music videos, what type of women am I seeing? When I listen to these lyrics, right, of my favorite artists, whether it's like a male or female, what lyrics am I hearing? Fake Gucci, fake Louis, that's gonna make you basic.
I feel like that comes back to Instagram though, because years ago, decades ago, you had actual video vixens.
Right.
Today you don't have that. You have Instagram models.
Right.
That's it. That's who's in these. And I know because I'm the one that's shooting these videos. It's not video vixens. It's Instagram models that have large followings that are getting these parts. So now you can see your favorite influencer in these music videos.
Straight up.
It's all coming. It's Instagram. It's social
There's nothing
media.
you have to. If you looked at the numbers, if you looked at the data, the amount of times you go to your Explorer page compared to the amount of times you go on YouTube and look at music videos, it's not even close. You check your Explorer page and you're on your Instagram, you're on your phone, maybe a zillion times more than you are on YouTube watching a music video. You can tell by that's about the views. You gotta think about how many people there are in the world, right? If you look at a music video, think about the hip hop videos you're talking about that had these certain girls in it. Those videos maybe average 500,000.
And the crowd that's really watching music videos are like the teenage boys, like the NBA YoungBoy fans, that type of music. Like that's who really watching music videos out here. Even women artists aren't creating music videos as much as these other rappers that like to have video vixens in their videos like that. They have more so like these. They're called running gun videos. Just pick up a camera and go, and they just with all their friends or whatever, and like in this random Airbnb, a house or whatever, and that's how they shooting these videos. Like all these videos don't even have models because they can't even afford to have the models.
I was just about to say that. Yeah, those budgets are not how they used to be. Like back when I was young, the music videos that we used to watch were directed by Hype Williams, Director X. Like they scouted some of the most flawless, beautiful women in their videos. If you think about Pimp C, if you think about Jay-Z's video with Pimp C, you know what I'm saying? When UGK, if you think about Vibrant Thing, like these are videos.
Are real models.
These are real models, right? And like they all had these all models weren't in the same city. Like these women came into town for some of these music videos, as opposed to like what JP said. Like now you don't even have to.
You can go to a casting page and get like and hire a model for $35 an hour, just like that. Just send a DM, and hire like whoever your favorite influencer is.
Right.
You couldn't do that back then.
Back then they rotated. Back then they rotated the same models. Like the reason why there were video vixens had so much money, like Melissa Ford's and like Gloria Velez, like these women were like desired to be in different artists' music videos, whether it was Nelly, whether it was Snoop Dogg, whether it was T.I., whether it was G's, no matter who it was, like they were like, I have to get this girl in my video. So they would get the Melissa Fords and the people and fly them out and have them in their music video and have them in different places. Now it's like, why would I do that? Like I just go on Instagram and DM any girls that I know that's in my area and tell them to pull up to the studio, as opposed to, you know what I'm saying? So like, is to me is.
So what I'm hearing is that men messed up the game.
Yeah.
I mean, we mess up a lot of things.
Yeah.
100%.
Wow. Interesting. Glad we came to that conclusion. You know, feeling represented, right? I feel like representation in hip hop is really, really important because, you know, having someone that either like looks like you or someone that can like inspire and motivate you to, you know, challenge your thinking. I feel like that's just like, it just doesn't get any better than that. So what's an artist that when you listen to them or when you look at them, you're like, wow, I feel so inspired?
J. Cole.
I would say Jay-Z.
The only reason why I'm laughing is because my response is gonna be different.
J. Cole. Shit. Drake, for real.
Yeah, I would say Drake or Jay-Z for me, as far as like artists that I feel so inspired by.
And inspired. Like, you know, just makes you want to get up and do something.
Yeah, I would say.
You feel like they challenge your thinking?
Jay-Z for sure.
No, I mean, it ain't like that, you know, saying nothing that's just extremely deep or nothing like that, but.
Well, J. Cole does get pretty deep. I mean, Love Yours.
He get deep enough, like in comparison to like other rappers, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Well, you know.
No, what was yours?
Yeah, what was your song?
You just said you about to say something different. You just really about to skate over that?
Oh, no. I was going to like set it up. But I was going to.
Say who your artist is?
Well, it's actually.
It's a little segue. That's what it was.
It's a culmination of women that I feel like, first of all, they're Southern women. And the reason why I picked them out was because an honorary mention, Nicki Minaj, but she spent like enough time in the South, so we can like group her in there too. You know, I feel like traditionally Southern culture is conservative. So especially if you grew up in a conservative environment, then you'll know like what I'm talking about. So we're taught as women to be a certain way, you know. Some of us are taught don't wear red nail polish. Some of us are taught, you know, in the summertime, wear jeans, not shorts, you know, don't wear tank tops. So when I'm hearing, right, the lyrics, I'm representing for the bitches, all eyes on your riches, you know, it opens doors in my brain. Or when I hear, like, I'm going to show you bitches how to pimp a nigga. Wait, should we edit that out? That don't sound good.
Sounds
Who's
good.
that? Is that Kinder Man? Who's that?
No, well, are we sure?
Wait, what?
If we should like edit that out?
Why?
Why?
You just
Yeah.
said you
Was
named
that
somebody else's
bad?
lyrics. That's not your lyrics.
Yeah, I know, but like I don't know, cause you said like Drake inspires you and shit, and then I just
Because you said that. Oh,
That's who
you feel like it
inspired
makes you look
you.
bad.
That's your truth. Oh, the truth makes you look
Stand
bad.
in. Look
Oh.
on me. The truth.
Try to tell
man.
the truth or try to just
wait,
make
no,
something
we gotta
up.
redo that. Okay,
You
so
can't pick different artists either.
when it comes, no, I gotta like set it up different. Okay, so I feel like representation, right? The reason why it's so important, especially you know, like my list, right? Growing up in the South, that there are certain women that I felt not only broke barriers, but they helped challenge thinking, and most importantly, they helped challenge, you know, the status quo that male put in society of how a woman should be. So when we look at people like Trina and Megan, right, and the City Girls, I truly believe that their music really does not only inspire young women, but they also give game, right, to young girls. So the question that I pose is, how do we define what it means to be a woman through a Southern lens? So I know for me, right, especially growing up in a conservative environment, I was taught that I can't do certain things. So when I would listen to certain tracks, right, by Trina or by like the City Girls, right, it would invoke a new thinking that, one, I didn't know was in me, but two, it gave me like that courage to, you know, be who I wanted to be and say what I wanted. And I know I'm not the only one that can relate to it. So, how do you think the South defines women?
I'm not sure because I'm not from here.
Okay, but you're from the South though.
St. Louis.
Oh, I forgot. It's in my
It's
head
all
that
on-
you're from
It's all on
Texas.
you.
It's in my head that you're from Texas, and I just
was
met
there
you
for
earlier.
3 years.
That's crazy.
How the South define? Say it again.
How do you think the South defines like women?
As goddesses,
Hmm.
we love our women. Like we love when we love our women. Like we, you know what I'm saying.
But you
Like,
would say though that a lot of people try to like put us in a box though.
try to put women in a box.
Yes.
I don't think so.
That we should do certain things, that we should be a certain way.
Like societal standards? Is that what you mean?
More from like a Southern lens though. I feel like it's typical to like put a woman in a box though, and I feel like every Southern girl has like that moment where we like break the box open and we start going against the grain of what's expected of us. But even like what's expected of us, it's not even anything that's like truly like astronomical. It's more like on the conservative side. So like do this, don't do that. You know, your shorts shouldn't be too short. You know, while you're wearing tank tops, even though it's like 90 degrees in the summer. So when I'm hearing tracks, right, like The Baddest Bitch by Trina, or when I'm hearing like How to Pimp a Nigga by the City Girls, Big Ol' Freak by Megan, it helps, like, I feel like it inspires more young girls or just like women in general to just like break the box open. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I remember Toni Braxton, she was saying how like she wished, I'm paraphrasing, but she wished she was like more promiscuous in her younger days because she was like taught like being conservative, being like, you know, like I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like in hip hop, I feel like y'all value like the good girls, but y'all shame like the ones that are like openly sexually liberated.
You feel like this, like hip hop values the good girls? You seen? Well, I don't know how many good girls you seen in any music videos in the South.
No, but I'm saying right that they're deemed as like, you know, like the Jezebels and shit. But like the real like girls with like the real like good image, like they're I feel like they get mentioned in like a different light.
What's the good image? Like what good
I was
image?
about to say that, yeah.
Good image more
As
on
in
like the
what?
conservative side.
Name somebody.
Are you saying like they get shamed or praised?
Praised
Name somebody.
versus okay,
Name a good girl that gets praised that everybody's like, oh, I love her so much. Name one.
Halle.
Halle who? Barry?
Nope. Bailey.
Halle Bailey?
Yeah,
Bailey.
Halle cool.
And then Chloe, her sister,
Yeah, Chloe
she's more
Halle.
like open with her sexuality.
I feel like
cool.
Chloe's the one that's popular.
Chloe gets shamed. Chloe get
Exactly,
like, they be
she
on
gets
her.
shamed.
Yeah.
She does?
For being
Yeah,
being
but
like herself.
not
She's
be-
more sexually liberated.
Who is she shamed by? Because you
My
said
social
men,
media.
right? You said men like to glorify these.
Men and women, honestly.
But I feel like men drew more over Chloe than
They
the
do.
good one,
Men
right?
accept Chloe more than women do, for
Right.
sure.
Right.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like she gets shamed by both men and women.
Why would she get shamed
She
by
gets
men?
shamed by both, but more so women.
Why would men shame her? Why would
Because they
men,
just
that
that's
doesn't
the
When it comes
question
to
I'm
social
asking.
media, it goes back to like what you were saying, how, you know, these men really didn't get looks, you know, growing up. So they're kind of
Yeah.
insecure. So they get on social
Like,
media and create a whole new
So you
personality,
saying
shit like that.
saying Chloe gets shamed, but Ice Spice doesn't get shamed?
No, she gets shamed too. I'm saying the girls that fall underneath
You
the
know what I'm
like
saying? I'm confused here. Like we
The-
both of these are
the girls that are more open with their sexuality, that are more like, you know, hey, you know, this is me, I feel like they get shamed more versus the girls that are more conservative. So, for example, remember 2018 when Act Up by the City Girls came out? Act Up, yeah, exactly. Women, like, that was a movement, that Act Up movement. And men was like, what the hell is, like, what is this? Or, like, how people love calling Megan Thee Stallion a slut because she loves to, like, shake her ass on stage. And she, you know, mentions, you know, a lot about her sexuality, or how they call like Cardi B nasty, or how
I don't think men
call
care
Trina a gold
as
digger
much
for her lyrics.
as some people like make it out to seem
I was
like.
about to say that because
Men don't care that much.
Measurable.
We're very simple creatures. Like we don't care. Like that's why it comes back to social media. Like you will see them on social media because those are the type of people that are on social media. They are on there to complain about
Right.
this and that.
Right.
But in reality, I mean, brother, we don't care about like it's
okay,
a cool
so
song.
you just answered one of my questions, because it was, why do men hate when women get put on game?
We don't. I mean, the playing field even.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I don't.
It is
I don't
what it
think.
is.
I think if we measure things off of just people's comments and like the backlash, like you say backlash, like I guess the only way to measure that is seeing it on social media. But you got to think about what type of man takes the time to voice his opinion in comments on social media.
An insecure one.
100%, bro. Like I've never in my life. I've never in my life since social media has been around, and I've been around since social media began, have taken the time out of my day to look at any attractive woman. I don't care what she's doing, like dancing, blah blah blah, and taking the time to say this is disgusting, or why would she do this, or like she's making herself look bad. Whether that thought came through my mind or if it didn't come through my mind, I'm not taking the time to make a comment about it. Like that's not gonna make that, you know what I'm saying? Like I hope this person sees this comment and changes their ways. Like if you're taking the time to do that, that just, you know, kind of describes what kind of person you may be, man or female.
Facts.
And then back to the South, women, you gotta think about it. Like the South has every woman in the world twerking. Twerking came from the South. That's facts.
But I feel absolutely. But I feel like women still get shamed for that though. That's my personal.
And that's sad.
I got that from, it was a class discussion, that hip hop class I took last semester. How literally all the girls in the class, including the professor, we all had like similar experiences of us either being slut shamed because we wore lipstick or because we wore shorts. Our families telling us that we can't wear like tank tops outside, only in the house. You know, you better not be playing in my makeup. You know, shit like that.
Outside looking in, it feels like women are women's biggest critic. Like, you know, y'all be on each other.
That's what I was about to say. Cause I feel like it's over.
Even when who told you not to wear, not to go outside with pants on? It's probably your mother. Or who tells women not to wear, a certain lipstick? It'd be they
parents.
It'd be older
or
women.
father or something like that. But like we
ain't just a scapegoat for real. We be getting the blame for everything.
Yeah.
We didn't make y'all, think
like
that.
I've never heard a man say this girl's shorts
bro.
are way too short. Like what man's gonna pull over and be like, hey, excuse me, ma'am, those shorts are too short.
Bro. Like your mother, your aunties, your older cousins, like that's who put that in your head.
Right.
We ain't got nothing to do with that. We don't.
That's interesting.
We don't care.
Right. That's real.
That's real interesting. I had another segment, and then I had two more, but I don't know if this applies to y'all. I was going to talk about like certain lyrics and like basically like decoding them, and why do men have a problem with it. But I feel like y'all might not have an issue with it.
Yeah.
I'll start with one, and then we'll see how it goes. I said this is from the City Girls, right? From this song "How to Pimp a Nigga." Rule 1: never ever ever fall in love with some dick that you meet up in the club. And I feel like that's like, good game because, we
that's
all
great
know.
game.
That's great game.
That's great game.
Yeah,
100%.
Ever fall in love with, okay.
And man would say the same thing. Don't fall in love
with the vice versa.
With no girl
Straight up.
You fall in the club.
Straight up.
Okay, we'll try a second one. When Megan said in her song Plan B, still can't believe I used to fuck with your popping Plan Bs because I don't plan to be stuck with you. I think it's really important, and I feel like it showcases women having agency over their bodies.
Go ahead. I'm about to say shit. You pop them Plan Bs.
Straight up.
Man.
Straight up.
Yeah, do your thing. Now we ain't got no kids. Shit. I mean.
Yeah, that's real. I think I agree with everything Megan just said right there.
I ain't have to tell you to take one. Go ahead, do your thing.
Well, I honestly, what I've garnered from this, gathered from this conversation. We'll just go with gather. You can't edit that out. What I've gathered from this conversation, I feel like it's a contrast of like men in real life versus like online.
There you go. And we're out. Conclusion. And the conclusion
this is from the block.
Right. This is signing off from the block. You got it.
Yeah, it's facts.
I'm glad we were here to help you figure that out.
Well, I have one more talking point. I am curious about your opinion on this. So we can all agree that some women have pretty privilege, correct? We can agree on that. Okay. So I feel like when women use their pretty privilege to, their advantage, I feel like you guys look at it as like being like a gold digger, or like when a man wants to spend money, y'all call it tricking.
I feel like if you're a woman and you're attractive and you can make a man spend money on you, or not even make a man, like he's willing to spend money on you, go for it.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Like I feel like I mean if I could use my looks to get my rent paid, to get free dinners, to get a car, to get flown out, what? Please fly me out somewhere. Pay for my meals, like you know what I'm saying. Pay for my rent, like wow, you know what I mean. I agree. I agree with anything a beautiful woman has going on.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because
if he paying for it, go ahead. Fuck it.
They're goddesses.
Well, in conclusion, guys, it's a difference between men online versus in person. So go outside, touch some grass, and interact with men.
Touch some grass for sure. Definitely
in real
touch
life.
grass.
This was really fun. I hope you guys had fun. Pause before I sign out. It was a point that you made. You had something to hold on. I was about to interject when you had said that women make music that don't glorify like a man working a 9-to-5 lifestyle. I would actually have
Hold on, repeat what I said. Say it again.
That women make music that don't glorify men having regular jobs, working a 9-to-5.
I didn't say that women
Yes,
don't. No. I didn't say women don't make music. I said specifically is that you don't hear a lot of songs being made about men that have these basic jobs or average jobs. You don't hear a lot of songs supporting that. Vice versa, you hear more about women talking about unrealistic lifestyles in their songs. I didn't say that. I didn't say none doesn't exist or women don't make these songs at all. I'm just saying like the ones that are popular.
But you would say that men though, it will be equal. That men shame having regular jobs.
I feel like real quick.
Broke niggas stands to the left. Rich niggas stands to the right.
I feel like in hip hop, yes. In country, no. So he's like, it's all about the genre, right? Like in country, I feel like men probably talk about having a more simple, regular lifestyle than hip hop. Hip hop has always been based upon that.
I feel like y'all be trying to one up us, and then we just be going with the flow, and just what were you saying a second ago, like about the music, the 9-to-5s, and
he said that a lot of women, not all women, make music that shame men working 9-to-5.
I never said the word shame.
I noticed that you said that too.
I never said shame. I said because the question was about standards.
I'm like, damn, you
specifically said standards in music, and I was like, men have their standards in songs about women. Like women, a lot of women have their standards in songs about what they expect from the man.
So I feel like men had like the songs that that we all know and love about talking shit about women, right. Whatever. And then these women come along, they try to make music and they try to do the same thing towards men. They try to match the energy, and we feel like that's great.
Bad?
No, do your thing.
Great, yeah.
We can't complain if we doing it too.
People have to express themselves in the way they express themselves. Yeah. That's the whole point of music. Like just because I was about to say a name, but like just because a certain artist may make a song that's downing a woman, whether it's how she dresses or whether how many bodies she has, blah blah. That's his personal experience. He just happens to be a popular artist, and that's a song he made, and that song happened to get numbers because people related to it. Right? It's no different than somebody making a drug-induced song about drugging and like getting high and doing this and the third. That doesn't relate to me. It may not relate to anybody that doesn't do drugs, but it may be a big, huge hit to a lot of people that do a lot of drugs and they can relate. You know what I'm saying? And vice versa.
And then even the topic of discussion that we started with, which was about like music focused on baby mamas, the people that's gonna resonate the most with the song are the people with kids.
Right.
Like that's who and a lot of people have kids, right? A lot of people don't fuck with their baby mama. Right. So they gonna sing that shit at the top of their lungs.
100%. 100%.
So, that's just life.
And we out.
Some people really feel like they baby mama ain't shit.
She won't let him see his son.
Interesting.
True.
I have a rebuttal, but I think I might save it for part 2. But overall, though, I did enjoy this discussion. But like when a woman makes a song about like shaming, the nigga for being like a deadbeat, then that's like it's justifiable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If he's a deadbeat, he's a deadbeat.
But why don't we see more songs about men calling out they homeboys for being deadbeats? But it's more of like, this woman ain't shit.
It's a bro code. Bros don't break bro codes. That's a whole nother episode. So you guys really go by bro codes for real.
Bro code is more than like just bro code was a name that was really just put on it, but bro code is really unspoken
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we have a
They
like
just
men
don't
really
talk
have a
about it.
same thing with women. Women have a bond with each other that y'all don't break. Like that y'all not supposed to
But the
break.
girl
They not
codes are
supposed to, but they be
justifiable.
they be on each other ass like
Men
like
do
I was
too.
saying.
But
yeah.
I feel like the girl codes are more justifiable though. But this,
But you're a female. You're gonna say that.
no, but this, so you don't want to call out your homeboy for being a deadbeat? That's bro code.
Yeah, you don't call him out on a song. You just tell him in person.
That's
God.
so messed up.
Why would you
Why
call,
would you call
him
out
on
your
a
friend
song?
on a song?
You're literally leaving your child in this cold.
Why would you say it on a song?
Why would you say
can
it on a
say it to
song?
him. Why would you put it in your music?
Why would I put that on a song?
To the world.
It's messed up.
But that's your
Again,
if that's
why
your
would you put that
friend,
on
why
a
would you put that
song?
out to the universe? Tell them
but
directly.
if your friend was broke though, I feel like they would have
you
no
wouldn't say that
problem.
either.
You wouldn't say that either. Yeah.
If your friend is going through anything, you don't tell that. You don't share that with the world, with anybody else. That's something that you discuss with you and your friend. That stays between y'all. You don't
Right.
take that nowhere else.
Unless he snakes you. If he snakes you, then you put it in the song.
Then all gloves off. Then, but besides that, that stays within. That's not something for the world to see. I'm finna get on a song and call my best friend a deadbeat.
Nah.
But why are you hanging around him though if he's a deadbeat?
Maybe to make him better. Maybe he can learn from
No.
me. Hopefully he learns from me.
We talking about
and becomes a
music.
better
I don't know
person.
where.
Yeah, we
I
are
don't know
talking
where that
about.
came
We are
from.
talking about music though.
Okay.
Yeah, we talking about music.
Well, in conclusion, guys, this is part 1.
Out of there.
Yeah, part 2, we're gonna have a woman's perspective. So I think that's gonna be really interesting. But keep the conversation going. And yeah, touch grass, talk to real guys offline, and it's interesting hearing their perspective. Okay, follow all of us on all social media platforms at From the Block Podcast, at Blanket Media, at Revamp Digital, and yeah, okay, bye.